Right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Sunday morning live session for how to ace data analytics in the AI era. So, in conjunction with our 10-year anniversary, this year, I think in the past, we have done a lot of webinars, a lot of workshops related to automations, agentic AI, and so on. But actually, what we have done in the past 10 years, right, since 2015, 2016, we have been doing a lot of things that's related to data analytics and also data science. And as what I've observed, things have changed quite a bit after ChatGPT came out, and that's what we are going to talk about today. So if you can hear me loud and clear, you can see everything, see my screen, the bottom right corner one is okay. Say hi. Let me know if you are here. This account is working. There's a lot of workshop. Actually, what we have. Okay, all good. All right. Without further ado, let's get. Wait, let me just close everything that I need to. Okay. All right. Without further ado, let's get started. Oscar, or are you Anissa and Manson's Oscar? Okay. Good morning, everyone. So once again, good introduction. You are watching a Sunday special live right from my studio. Dr. Lau here, Chief Data Scientist and also Full Stack AI Specialist. Okay, so today what we're going to do is to go through some things about how to ace data analytics in the AI era. So if you have read my Facebook post last night, so I posted a picture like this. So I got the inspiration, from God of Gambler, the movie, the famous movie in my era. So there are a few things that we talk about when we do AI. So first thing is AI. So the model itself. So I call it the superpower for everybody, which is also the speed, because without AI, all the things that we are talking about today, whether it's music, whether it's image, whether it's video or text generation, wouldn't happen. Okay, so that's the key thing, AI and the model. And number two is automation. So automation, the key here is to remove the boring tasks, which we have talked about a lot in the past few months, using NAN, using the platform like Zapier or Make or Power Automate and so on. So without AI, we can still do automation, but the automation here is kind of limited, and also it's not so easily accessible. We have just completed a Chinese AI automation class last Thursday and Friday, and you can see from their faces the way that there are two types. Number one, they didn't know that AI can be used in the way and those ways that we have taught them. And number two is they didn't know automation can be done so easily, because in the past you definitely need some Excel, macros, VB script in order to do that, or even something that's more recent, you need to write Python scripts using LangChain, LangGraph and so on. But now you don't have to. Okay. Number three are agents. So agents are actually the robots behind all this automation, as you can see here. I really like this set of image. Maybe I should print it out. This one is from Nano Banana. Okay, so you have some digital smart workers, and you don't have to tell them much. You just have to supervise them. You just have to watch them and observe them, and then they can do things themselves. And lastly is the analytics, and you can ask them to even look at the chat, look at the charts, and give you some results and responses, and help you to write analytics reports and so on. So gone are the days that you have to do all those things. Later, I'll give you some quick demos on how we do analytics in the modern era. Okay, and of course, these four are the key topics that we will be discussing in our Lead the Future conference. Yeah, Lead the Future Summit. So if you are interested, do check it out. Lead the Future. Morning, Ethan. Where are you at now? I assume it's in Penang. Xue Jing. Hello. Okay, all right. So, the focus of today, of course, is this analytics, right? And when we talk about analytics in AI era, we have to look at this chart first. Okay, we have to look at this diagram. Yeah. So before this, not many people is aware about. Not many people are aware about what is AI. We have been doing AI since 1950s, artificial intelligence, since Alan Turing's time. And if you watch the movie called The Imitation Game, which I strongly recommend everybody, if you're interested in AI or if you're doing AI, you should watch that movie to have a bit of background, historical context about what is the starting point? How did we actually get here? And what is the main motivation? Now, a lot of things that you see today, right, that seems so normal to you, it actually originates from military. Yeah, so AI computers is also one of them. Internet is also one of them. Plastic surgery is also one of them. Yeah, plastic surgery originally is for the soldiers who have been disfigured during the wartime, during a battle, to help them to recover. So that's how it gets started. Okay, so for artificial intelligence, before 2022, before ChatGPT came out, most of us, we recognize it as machine learning. Most of the people actually recognize it as a machine learning. So you hear a lot of things about big data, getting actionable insights from big data, using it to do things like predictive modeling, forecasting, time series analysis, and so on. Okay, so that is actually what we call machine learning. And of course, some people now call it classic AI and modern AI. At least myself and my colleagues, my peers, we do that. And that is because this is pre-ChatGPT or pre-generative AI era. So we call it classic AI, just to make it easier for us to understand. And most of the machine learning techniques actually comes from statistical methods. And in the past, we don't have access to so many data points, so much data. So we use statistical method. A key characteristics of statistical method in the past, right, especially 14th, 15th centuries, Newton, that sort of era, they don't have access to data, and they don't have access to supercomputers like what we do now. So what they need to do is they need to resort to paper and pen, not this Apple pen, paper and pen or pencil, to actually do the calculations and so on. So most of the methods that we use are, I call it sampling method lah. That means you take a sample, you don't really calculate it based on the full data set. So that is more on the statistics side, and you need to do a lot of hypothetical testings. You need to do a lot of studies just to check the properties of your variables and features and so on. And then fast forward to machine learning, because we have computers, we have data, we have access to a lot more data. So we use that to build more reliable models that we can trust to help us to make predictions. Okay, and remember what I said earlier, all this actually starts from military, and then after military it goes to commercial. So a lot of the machine learning stuff that we do are to support business activities. So the most direct one that you can relate to right now is like you go to bank, you want to make a loan, right? And that is the approval process is actually based on some machine learning models. So the input data is your 3-month payslip, your financial documents, and also your employment status, your salary, and your other commitments, and so on and so forth. Then we put it into a model. then the model will give you the results. Okay, the model will give you two types of results. Okay, so here's the thing that you need to pay attention to. The model usually will give you two types of results. One is approved or not, so it's a yes and no, right? One, if it's approved, then it will tell you what is the amount. Okay, so if I were to draw that, right? Okay. So let's say you apply for credit card. Credit card applications, and you will have two outcomes. Okay. Okay. If it's no, then it's very simple. Yeah. No, that means you try again lah. Okay. You need to make your application stronger, make it a stronger case for them to decide whether they want to approve or not. Okay. And if it's a yes, okay, if it's a yes, right, then the amount, your credit limit lah. Okay. So there are two things here. If you get an approved yes or no, and you can figure out, right, this is something that you have a finite set of answer. So I mean, you have finite set of options. Okay, and this one you're actually predicting a set of values. So if I were to make it easier for you to remember, this is something that you can count. Yes, no, A, B, C, D, types of movie, types of outcome. And this one is something that you cannot count, but it's something that you can measure. So if you take this to a machine learning approach, this is what we call supervised learning. You already know what you want. If credit card application is something that is too new for you, okay, or too far for you, you don't need to borrow money. Okay, for example, like Oscar, all right, still you're still a student, so you're not too aware of the credit cards, loan, how it works, and your parents can cover most of your expenses, right? Then you can think of it like weather forecast. So let's say you want to go out, right? Malaysia, afternoon, beautiful Sunday afternoon, you want to go out. So if you go out at say 12 o'clock, you need to know two things. Number one, what is the weather condition? Okay, is it going to be hot? Is it going to be windy? Is it going to be raining? So if it's hot, then you need to know. I need to bring my sunnies. I need to bring if it's hot, yeah, sunnies lah, basically. And then you change your clothes to something that's not so thick, right? You don't need to bring a jacket. But if weather forecast tells you that it's going to be very cold later on, or it's going to be raining, so you probably don't have to bring your sunnies, your sunglasses, and you need to bring an umbrella, and also you need to bring a jacket. So this is how machine learning helps you to make decisions, right? And that is what I mean by knowing the outcome. Okay, a finite set of options. That means you need to know the weather condition lah. So if you take this to weather forecast, then you know the different types of weather, and the values that you need to predict is most probably is the temperature. Okay, the temperatures that you that is like in the afternoon when you go out. So if it's 32, 33 degrees, then forget it, right? You don't have to bring anything. And if it's 27, 26, then you need to bring a jacket, and so on. Morning, Howard. Good to see you here. Okay. Now, if we take it to the theoretical side, this is what we call machine learning. In particular, this is what we call supervised learning. You know what you want, and you already have historical data. Okay, you know what you want, and you have historical data. I'll explain to you in a bit how this thing is affected when AI came up. Okay, and then classification. It can be categories, it can be outcome. So the model that I have just used is a very classic model called decision tree. You can take a look. Most of the companies most of the banks, insurance company, they use something similar, or at least the basis is this model. Again, everything that I taught here is open source. You can use any data science, data analytics software to try and look for decision tree, and they have something like this. Yeah, okay, a lot. It's literally coming from, the idea is coming from a tree, and sometimes if the tree have too many layers, we will delete some of the layers, and that itself is called pruning. Yeah, okay. Morning, Danny. All right, so if we want to classify some outcomes and the categories, you can use decision trees, k nearest neighbor, logistic regression. And another example that you guys can relate is the Netflix movie classification problem, and also you can do Netflix micro genres. Sidetrack a little bit, yeah. This one is sidetrack. So a lot of time when we watch movies, right, we actually look at the high-level genre, comedy, love story, thriller, sci-fi. That's about it. But one of the secret recipe behind Netflix success is they further split it down to all sort of lists like this. Okay, let me just pick one. Let's say comedies, right? Under the comedy sections, they have this sort of micro genre. That means smaller categories like animes comedies, dark comedies, horror comedies, teen comedies. And then when you click, right, it bring you to Netflix sites and show you what are the different types of movie, like Jumanji, Frozen Hot Boys. These are really this one under 3519, which is teen comedies. So now, if you know me, I'm a big fan of stand-up comedies, and then when I click stand-up, right, it's all stand-up comedies. I can watch all day long. There's a Fafli, where's my boy, Jimmy O Yang, and then Trevor Noah, all those. Yeah, they're all here. Okay, Kevin Hart. So you can easily see the difference between a high-level comedies and also a subcategories like this, and straight away you can feel like, oh, okay, it's really so fine-grained that it can give you the details, the level and attention to details that you can't get just by using some high-level classification. Okay, so this one is Netflix, and the technique is called classification. Sometimes you don't need that. You don't want to use that. You want to predict the value. So if you go to Kaggle, which is a place for data scientists, professional data scientists to get data sets, and you can look at different types of data here. Okay, linear regressions, salary regressions, cancer regressions, student performance. So these are to predict the values, and you can see you want to predict house price, you want to predict gold price, you want to predict more like concrete strength for architectures, for constructions. Okay, so these are the data sets for predicting and forecasting values. So this has nothing to do with the outcome. Yeah. So in the case of Netflix, predicting or classifying the movies into respective categories is one. If you want to forecast the values, forecast how many people are going to watch it, that's another type. Okay, so you'll have to remember, if you do classification, that is to categorize, put things into categories, and if you do forecastings, that is to predict the values. Okay, and these are called supervised learning. Now in AI era, in traditionally, what we do is we go to Google Colab and we open up a new notebook. And if you want to learn these hands-on skills, right, you can go to, you can join Lead the Future conference, and we have one session that is taught by two experts here, Christine and Edmund, principal machine learning engineer at Turing. From the name, you know it's a very powerful position and it's a very strong company, okay, named after Turing. And of course, our own CTO, Edmund, and also my a good friend, Dr. Pu, data engineer from Roche, is also going to be there, not to tell you all this sort of theory, academics, textbook stuff. He's going to share with you some real-world use cases, how he actually do data engineering at a large company, and also what are the do's and don'ts. And for those of you who are looking to switch your career, this is your best chance. Talk to people who are practitioners, and they can give you a lot of tips and insights. All right. So Dr. Pu's talk is early in the morning, 11:15, and then Edmund's and Christine's session is at 1 o'clock. Yeah, AI data analytics. So don't miss it if you are looking to switch your data career. And today you can still use my special 200 promo code to get 200 ringgit discount. Okay. All right. So let's come back to our Google Colab notebook here. So this is where you data scientists will do our work. And now, because of Gemini has been catching up quite a lot lately. And let's say I go to kaggle.com, right? And then I find some car price prediction. Okay. Actually, I think we have a Malaysian data set here. Malaysian car. Yeah, they have quite a lot of Malaysia-related data sets also. Okay, you can search for it. Car price predictions, and there are two files here. Okay, so you can just download the data set. Okay, sign in with email. Yeah, if there's any questions, you can leave them in the chat panel. It's a live session. It's not a recorded session. I'll do my best to answer all your queries before I go offline. And here is where you upload your data set. Okay, the one that I downloaded is here, car price assignment.csv. Okay, just a warning to tell you that if you turn off your browser after a certain time, then it will not keep your data. Okay, so you can say add to Gemini. Now you don't have to do anything. You just say help me to perform a complete data analytics on this data set. Done. Norman, yeah, you just got my email, right? You didn't miss much, and there will be a replay. But usually replay is not so fun, yeah. Live you can talk to me, listen to my lame jokes. Okay, and then now because this is agentic AI, it will say I can perform a complete data analysis on your data set. Here's the plan: load the data, explore the data, summarize the data, visualize the data, clean the data. Oh, so long. Okay, a lot more detail than what I would do. Okay, are you sure you want to auto run the plan? Yeah, so they usually will be very cautious when you want to auto run. I don't, I'm lazy, but AI is more cautious than us because they want to make sure that there's no malicious things get done. Okay, so this is going to take a while. Of course, if you are using this yourself, it's a free tool. Then you can go get some coffee, eat some kueh, and then you come back. But now, of course, it's a live session. I'm not going to waste your time watching this. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the proper way of doing data science, which is, if you remember the plan that Gemini has helped us to do, load the data, explore the data, summarize the data, and so on, right? There's a proper name for this one. I didn't come up this. It's a proper framework that people are using. It's called OSEMN framework. I did do a lot of content on this, so you can find it here. Okay, 5 steps to start a data science project, life cycle, and so on. Has been there for many years, and what it does is to give you a framework on how do you actually handle a data science project. Okay, and since it's a framework, so it will always be valid and relevant whether you are in AI era or you're in BI era. I always make fun of this is before AI era, we should have BI first. If you don't know what is BI, okay, BI stands for, well, this stroke is so thick, business intelligence. Okay, that's what BI stands for. Okay. So in the past, business intelligence referring to the activities of getting analytics, getting the especially descriptive analytics from our data. Okay, that's what BI is for. Okay. But AI stands for artificial intelligence. So there are 5 steps when we want to perform a data science project. The first one is obtain. Obtaining data. Now, if you don't have the raw materials, if you don't have the ingredients, how are you going to cook something, right? Imagine you're cooking. And I always say the best thing that can unite and relate, get Malaysians all related to is nasi lemak. So if you want to cook nasi lemak, you need to have a recipe. You need to know what are the things that you are going to cook, and then where to get them, how to prepare them, and so on and so forth. So this is what obtaining data is. Now, how have AI changed the obtaining data part? In the past, you need to, let's say, right, the easiest thing, okay, the most entry level thing is SQL. You need to write SQL script to get the data, and you need to get approval from the help of your friends or your colleagues who knows SQL. If you don't know SQL, then you are stuck, okay? And you always have to see, can you please help me to get the data from this particular system and so on. But AI make this part very, very easy. And not only that, you can use SQL script, you can ask ChatGPT, Gemini to write SQL script for you. API. It's also very easy to connect to API, which is Applications Programming Interface, okay, which is your API. And now, not just that, you can also use AI agent, MCP, to help you to get the data that you need. So you no longer need to rely on your colleague just to help you to gather the data, all right, to obtain the data, to process the data, and so on. You can do it yourself, whether you are technical or non-technical. Yeah. Last time it has to be quite technical in order to do that. Okay, I'll leave it here to make it easier. Okay, so AI has made it easier, a lot easier for us to use SQL script, to use API, and also to do MCP already. So this is the obtaining data part. The second part is to clean the data. Now, if you are not in the industry, you probably won't know is obtaining data and cleaning data. These two things, okay, these two things alone, okay, these two alone, takes up, take a guess, how many percent of the time? At least 60% of the time is spent on these two tasks only. Yeah, because you need to, just like cooking, okay? The one, let's say you cook a nasi lemak, right? The easiest one, the one that takes the least amount of time is to eat. It's very fast. You spend 5 hours to cook the nasi lemak, you can finish it in 5 minutes, right? But the 5 minutes, the preparation, the cooking time, right? Most of them goes into go to the market lah, buy the materials, buy the ingredients, cleaning it, washing it, chop, put into rice cookers and so on. So you just have to remember, OSEMN framework is like cooking like that. So 60% of our time is spent on preparing and spent on cleaning the data. Cleaning data is also the most not sexy part in the entire thing. Very time consuming, nothing. Right? You just clean it. Let's say you're handling Malaysian data, right? Let's say you have some customer data, you have some patients data, and so on. What are you going to do? Get their IC number. IC number, they simply fill up. Some people, they fill up, they fill in without the hash, the dash, the hyphen. Some people, they fill out the phone number with +60 in front. Some people, they just put 019 and without that, and so on, right? You can relate to. Right? So those are the dirty data problem. Some people, they put their address without putting the street address. Some people, they simply fill up just to get free gift. So cleaning data is very mafan, right? And it takes time. So now with AI, you can ask AI to clean that out for you. If you know vibe coding, you can use vibe coding to write a script. Let me show you some of the scripts that I asked AI to write. Yeah? I'm really lazy. Okay, give me a second. FBS. Okay, FBS3. Okay. So I'm using Visual Studio Code. So this is a bit of vibe coding. And of course, if you want to know more about vibe coding and how these tools can help you, you know where to go, right? Open folder. Okay, workspace. this latest Mac OS is a bit love-hate situation. Very hard to explain. It's nice, it's kind of smooth, but it's weird. So what happened is we always run Facebook ads, and we have an agency who help us to do that. So they will run the ads. This is the data that give it to us. So you have to go and extract the data, right? Sorry, I shouldn't show your privacy information here. But you can see that. Let me make it very small. Okay, you can see that the names, the IC, the email address, and also the phone numbers, they're all here. Okay, these are the raw data that Facebook give us. I'll make sure I edit out the part. And then, so I have to do a few things. I need to count the number of lines first, make sure that everything is there. Okay, the number of lines is correct, it tallies with my Facebook ads account. Then I have to combine these contacts into one giant file, okay, by using combine csv.p, and then turn it into a format that Zoom can understand and upload it to Zoom. Now, of course, some of this process can actually be automated using AI agents. I can write a script to do that. But what I'm trying to do is to show you behind the scene process that we have to clean up the data manually. Okay, whether you are using agents to do that or you are using some trigger to do that. Then you can get the clean data that you can do. Okay, so with AI, you don't have to do that manually anymore. Last time, how we did that, we opened the file in Excel and then clean up the data, remove the data that's dirty, then only we put it into our CRM system. Okay, so AI help us to save time 60% of the time. Maybe at least it takes away half of the data cleaning time, at least easily half of the data cleaning time. But Leo, algorithm God chose me. I was blessed with this stream. Thank you. Don't forget to like, like, follow, subscribe, share. Okay, yeah. Alright, leave your email address, then I'll put you into the mailing list, then you won't miss out any live session in the future. This is the second time we try Sunday morning sessions. Usually Sunday mornings I'm out there running a class, but it seems like the response is pretty good. Yeah. Okay. If you like this live and you would like to see more in the future, give me some response. Give me some emojis. Okay. Give me a hand. Give me a heart. And I know that you enjoy and you like this. Okay. All right. So let's continue. Now, after you have cleaned the data and then after you have gotten the data, cleaned the data, what you need to do? Okay. The next thing that you need to do is actually to explore. Okay, to explore your data. So why do you need to explore them? Because you want to know your data first. Don't rush into modeling. I'll tell you the secret, right? The modeling part, the M part, right? What is this, man? What is this? Okay. Now you know how bad I am with this send to back. So the modeling part is the easiest part. It's the easiest thing in data analytics because you just need to know what model to choose, apply the model, and then you evaluate the results. If anything, you go back to fix your data or you fix the parameters. Okay, exploring data is for you to understand your data, and you can use tools like Power BI, Google Data Studios, Looker Studios, and also Tableau. Yeah, the exploration is to usually use charts. Okay, is to use charts like charts, visualizations, BI tools. Okay, and of course, you need to do some statistical analysis also. Okay, yeah. So this is what Explore does. So if you go back to the our notebook here, right? Now Gemini has helped us to complete the entire data analytics project. Okay, let's take a look from the eyes of a professional data scientist. Yeah. Okay, so first thing first, load the data. All right, and load into a data frame, explore the data. Okay, and then there's no missing data, all good. Okay, then it will summarize the data. Okay, summarize the data. So this is what I mean by analytics or descriptive statistics approach of the data set. Because this is where you learn more about your data and also you learn about the properties. So let's say from cow, you can get to know how many data points are there any missing data. Mean is to know the average, and combined with mean and standard deviation, you know how your data points are distributed. Are they scattered around, or they are all very close to the average? Are there any outliers? And then standard deviations, mean, max, and quartile, percentile. And then when you want to explore the data, this is where you actually use visualization. See, I did not do anything, right? I did not how do I say that? I did not go into any modeling. I did not do any predictions just yet. So I explore the data, look at the car price. Is that more horsepower? Is that more expensive? Or some of the cars, they have very low horsepower but also very expensive, like this. And then price distribution, etc. Okay, gas, diesel. Then after that, they clean the data. So you might wonder, how come AI is doing the exploration first, then only they clean the data first? Because cleaning process and explore, yeah, they are iterative. So you can do. Here. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So it is continuous. It's not one-off. Yeah, it's not one-off. It's continuous. So when you clean the data and then you explore it, if you notice that there's anything unusual about your data, then you come back and clean again. So it's a to and fro. Yeah, it's not just one-off. And then because of that, if you look at our script here, right? So it clean up the data, it explore a bit, and then you go back to clean. Sometimes you have outliers. Sometimes some of the things you can only spot. You can only spot the mistakes after you have explored your data. So anyway, exploring data is for you to know more about your data set. Right, and then they do some feature engineering. So this one goes back to the task of data engineers. They try to massage the data, combine some features together. So the easiest way for you to relate to what is feature engineering is like BMI. Okay, BMI is actually a number. It's just one number. What does BMI do? By looking at this number, you are able to tell whether this person is a healthy person or whether is obese or not, right? By using their weight and height. So you combine two factors into one factors, or you combine two columns into one. That process is called feature engineering. Of course, you can also take it out. Sometimes if the data that you got is has multiple components, say for example, you get a name, a full name of a person, then you want to split them up into first name and last name. So you want to know, you want to derive their surname, for example, right? So that is also feature engineering. So you either combine or you split the data. Okay, and then you analyze the relationships, look at the heat map. All these are still at the early stage. This is your analyzing your data. Yeah. Okay, so summarize the key findings from the analysis. So all these, obtaining data, scrubbing data, exploring data. Obtaining data still need a bit of human. Sometimes your data is in the hands of your other colleagues, right? Or store somewhere, you need help. A bit of manual work there, but if you take away the manual work, the technical part is all done by AI and scripts, at least all the way up to the exploring part. Okay, and also sidetrack a bit. If you look at the job nature, right? Job nature, the work, the type of roles, the type of position in data. Obtaining data and cleaning data are mainly the job of a data engineer. This is the job of a data engineer. Okay. And exploring data and building models, these two, right, is actually the job of a data analyst. And most of the time, data analysts only handle this part, these two, all the way up to explore part. Okay. So this one, yeah, O, S, and E, this three, yeah, is actually data analyst. Data analyst. Okay, make sense, huh? All right. And the next thing that we need to do is to build a model. So of course, I can ask Colab to help me to do that. See, model building optional. So help me to build models. So again, this part is agentic AI. So we use AI agents to help us to analyze data. Okay. So the strong correlations identified suggest that features like engine size, curb weight, and horsepower are likely significant predictor of the car price already. So it straight away help us to tell us that I want to build a model to predict the car price. So this is very powerful. For those of you who have taken data science courses, machine learning courses, you know, all these last time it would take us a while to do, and we still have to spend a lot of time thinking of the what is called the business questions. Okay, business questions. Everything that we do now is to help us to answer business questions. And if you know how to use ChatGPT, if you know how to use Gemini, everything will be done for you already. Yeah. Okay. So it's still running. And you see, it will automatically fix itself. So this is another characteristic of AI agent. Is able to think, is able to plan, and is able to do reasoning. Yeah. So it's able to do these three things for you. Okay, yeah, you just let it run. Okay, now same thing, while waiting, we are not going to waste time watching. I'm going to tell you the secret of AI analytics, the last one, which is interpret. Interpreting result is actually the most valuable part in the entire value chain of data analytics, which is this part. Okay, and this is if you like to do this job, right? Send to back. Okay, if you like to do this job, this is the job of data scientists: building model, interpret results, and explaining it to the business user. So you will be here. Okay, this part. This will be your data scientist. Data scientist. So this part is data engineers, the middle part is data analysts, and then the whole thing is data scientists. But the values comes from building the model, evaluating the model, and also the ability to explain the model to stakeholders, to business users, so that they understand what this model is for, why are we doing this, and then the business value, business impact. So the key skills here, is actually for interpret, right? Data storytelling. Yeah, data storytelling, articulations, able to understand non-technical users, able to understand users. And last but not least, to tie it back to your business question so that you can deliver, you can answer business questions. Okay, so this is what you really need to do for interpretation part. And this part usually is not so technical, but it really depends on your business acumen and also your business understanding. And I personally think that this part is the part that AI will, not to say 100%, not like it will never be able to replace, but it's going to take a while because the same thing, right? The AI can help you to write the script and so on, but different person deliver it, present it differently. Okay, so if you go back and see it, it has built a model for us already, and this is the model evaluation. It calculates the mean square error, mean absolute error, root mean square errors, and so on. And this is using linear regression model. Okay? Linear regression. So it echoes what I have told you earlier. Yeah, your regression, linear regression, time series analysis. So these are popular models and models that we have been using for the past 10-20 years. Do not buy into fancy model, cute models at the very beginning. It will give you extra difficulty, challenges in your analytics, and also introduce unnecessary complexity. Okay, and remember, last but not least, is the interpretation part, so which is the finding. So the data set was successfully split into training and testing, and then the trained model achieved a MAE of approximately these results, and RMSE is this, indicating the typical magnitude of prediction errors, and R square of 0.91, explaining about 91%. So that means the model is pretty, the R square, right, the closer to 1, the better, generally. But of course, you want to avoid overfitting and so on. So insights is the high R square suggests that linear regression model is a reasonably good fit for predicting the car price, and further analysis could examine the model coefficient. So if you look at the things that we choose here, right? Okay, the model that I choose. Okay. Yeah. Here. Okay. The whole process took me about 10 minutes and so on to write, but this is a complete data analytics project. Now, in the past, when I run automation, when I teach AI, I always need to go and ask people, hey, how much time do you think it saves? Normally, if I were to do this, right, at least it would take me 2 to 3 hours just to write the code. Even though I'm just copy pasting codes from the codes that I've written in the past, at least 2 to 3 hours. And now I have compressed 2 to 3 hours, about 180 minutes. So let's say, then it's about 5%. Yeah, I reduce 80 to 90% of my work so that I can focus more on understanding the business question, understanding the data, and sit down with my clients and explain things to them. This is not a simple, oversimplified examples. Every data set that you get from Kaggle are definitely data set that people are using in the industry, and you look at the upvotes, you look at the number of assignments, number of codes that people have written, is definitely not some textbook code like Titanic or those. Okay, all right. So this is the OSEMN framework, and also the machine learning, supervised learning part. So the second part is unsupervised learning. Okay, you don't know what you want. A classic example of you don't know what you want will be shopping cart. Okay, transaction. So let's say you work for Aeon, you look for Tesco, Lotus, Giants, and you have a lot of transaction data. You have a lot of customer data. Usually, this data they won't tell you what they want. Okay, for example, they will give you general high-level answers like, okay, I want to know what my customers like. All right, I want to know their preferences. But these are not as significant as supervised learning. You really know what is your target variable. Like clusters. How do you want to group your customers based on their preference? But what are their preference? They don't know, right? So that is where unsupervised learning comes in. Unsupervised learning, usually the primary technique that we use, are this is clustering. Okay, and clustering process is by using k-means algorithm. Okay, k-means. And clustering is not only for us to group similar customers together, similar transactions together. So if you use it in cybersecurity, they analyze the patterns, the attack patterns. So we can use it to extract things like different types of attacks, identify signals that will trigger an attack. Okay, that's one. And then for banks also, we can cluster those transactions that are problematic or more fraudulent, as they call it, together. And also for, let's say, normal people like us, right? We can use clustering or something called the RFM algorithm to group customers together based on their shopping patterns and shopping behavior. So people who spend more, okay, who recently come to visit our shop and they spend quite frequently and they have high order and value. Okay, I think I open it. Yeah. we can group them together. Okay, group by their number of days and also the amount of money that they spend. And yeah, so now you can see very easily in a chart like this, and then you give them a label: who are the champions, who are the loyal customers, who are the customers that are at risk, you are about to lose them, who are the customers who are hibernating. This sort of techniques is always called the clustering method. And in the AI era, we can also use it to help us to cluster text documents. Like let's say you have 100 customer reviews or 1,000, group them together, run some sentiment analysis to understand what the data set is trying to tell you. So in I think I have this, yeah. In one of the data science class last month, where we teach this, so we look at the hotel reviews, okay, and then you see all this. You don't know, you don't have a specific target. You don't know what you are trying to predict. There's nothing to predict, right? You basically just try to classify and group them together. So we group all the comments together based on the keyword that's used. Yeah, based on the keywords. So we're able to identify topics that people use in hotel reviews. So they usually look at the cleanliness level, how clean are the rooms, what are the the facilities nearby, and then the size of the room, and also breakfast, and so on and so forth. And after that, we use it to run sentiment analysis. Yeah, and then we extract the keywords that affect the ratings. Aircons lah, smelly bathroom lah, close to airport lah. Okay, so something that you can easily relate. Yeah, and you also look at the cluster, yeah, number of reviews. Okay, so this is clustering, and most of the unsupervised learning techniques we go with clustering, and the other one is called the association rule mining. Okay. So the purpose of association rule mining, as the name tells you, is to find the association between different rules. So for example, a priori, then epigraph, market basket analysis. Okay, all these are popular techniques that we use when we do association rule mining. But what it does, okay, is very simple. Is to analyze the shopping cart to find out what are the things that are often bought together. So, for example, people who bought, let me find some nicer charts. Okay, people who bought beers, they usually will buy peanuts. Okay, people who bought eggs, they will usually buy bread. In Malaysia case, a little bit different. People who bought bread, usually they bought kaya also, right? So these are the transactions, and then based on the transactions, we are able to derive the rules of what are the items that are bought together. And why is this useful? If you are running an e-commerce shop, right? This from our studies, okay, from academic research, related product recommendation can increase your sales up to 20 to 32% easily. So that means you bought a cloth, right? If you look at Malaysian shopping site, they try to do it, but they do it in a funny way. Like you bought a hat, you bought a cap, right? They'll ask you to buy more cap. But let's say you go to Amazon, you go to eBay, right? It's different. If you bought a shirt, they'll ask you whether you want to buy pants or not. If you bought a pants, then they'll ask you whether you want to buy a pair of socks, and so on. Yeah, so they will recommend you products. But nonetheless, this is what they do, association rule mining. And you can use similar techniques to recommend YouTube videos, recommend songs in Spotify, and so on. But the idea behind is the same. So this part pretty much cover all you need to know about machine learning, okay? About machine learning. And these are all under the umbrella of classic AI. So most of them already can be done by using AI. Of course, especially unsupervised learning. I just show you the workbook lah. I don't have to run it again. But all the codes are mainly written by using AI, and my job as a human is just to check and make sure that the answers are close to, or at least the answer is not suspicious. Okay, yeah, there's nothing fishy about that lah. AI did not make any mistake. So I think I would like to focus and emphasize again. A lot of our students, right, when they first join the class, they think that they don't have technical skills, they don't have the technical knowledge, technical know-how. So your business acumen, your domain knowledge, okay, your knowledge, your know-how, these are the most important part in data analytics, okay, because AI can help you to settle most of the technical part already. Yeah, and once again, go to leadthefuture.io, check out the speaker. Okay, leadthefuture.io, check out the speaker and use special 200 promo code to get some 200 ringgit discount. Okay, now let's go to the modern AI. Why did I keep a little bit of time to talk about modern AI only? Because there's nothing much to talk about in modern AI. It's basically a progression of classic AI. So if you understand classic AI, you will understand modern AI. Modern AI starts from deep learning. So why do we have deep learning? And you probably have not thought of this, right? You do deep learning because the traditional machine learning cannot cope. Okay, why do we have machine learning? Because the traditional statistics cannot cope. That's all. So statistics are using pen and paper. The scientists, the mathematicians, they're all very tired. Their hand very tired already. So they use computers to help them to do that. And with new computational devices, with new computers, you need new algorithms, and you have access to more data, right? Remember what I said? It all started from you have access to more data. Now, since 20 years ago, you have access to even more data. People start to take photos, people start to shoot videos, and more recently, people start to shoot portrait video. If you look at the if you watch my videos a few months ago, right, I have this prediction. I say most of the companies, they still do not have a vertical video generation. If you notice, right, most of the video generation, Kerling lah, Mid-Journey, all those are either square or most of them are landscape, right? Landscape. And the first company that will be able to do that are usually the company that have access to portrait videos, like who? TikTok, okay, like YouTube. So Gemini or VO3 is now able to generate video in portrait format, okay. And because we have access, we suddenly have access to that much data, and our traditional machine learning algorithm cannot cope anymore. Okay, cannot tahan. So we need to come up with new ML algorithms, which are called deep learning. And deep learning is based on neural network. I won't go into the details of neural network, okay? But yeah, from the picture you can see it tries to mimic how your brain works. Multiple neurons connect together. Of course, our brain is a lot more complex than this, a lot more complicated, but you get the idea. Okay, so under the neural networks, then we have different types of deep learning frameworks. We have PyTorch, we have Keras, we have TensorFlow, all those things. But the idea is the same. Then we split that into two types: discriminative AI and generative AI. Discriminative AI still goes back to our traditional supervised learning. Okay, it's still supervised learning. Let me try to draw a line if I can. Okay, I don't know how it will turn out, but okay, looks okay. Yeah, discriminative AI, it still goes back to supervised learning. It still goes back to you have a problem, you want to classify them, or you want to predict a value. Okay, so there's nothing much to talk about for discriminative AI already, because it's still the same thing. It's just that you have expanded it to more different types of data. Last time, classification, right? Supervised learning, let's say classification. You can't classify an image. You can, but not so effective. It cannot recognize the face. It cannot recognize the objects, and it needs a large amount of training data. But now with deep learning, with neural networks, you are able to do that easily. Upload a photo to ChatGPT, is able to tell you, not only it tells you whether there are faces, there are animals in there or not. It's able to identify the species, what the humans are doing. Yeah. So there's always two things. You need to do object recognition, then you do identification. Yeah, you need to recognize that there's a human face there first. That only you can do identify what face are there. But what interests us more is generative AI. Okay, generative AI is like ChatGPT, Gemini, and those things, and then subsequently it leads to large language model. Large language model, if you are interested, right, you can read NLP, text mining. This is my PhD research topic, and then BERT, transformers. But if you are not into those technical things, then you can leave them. And this basically summarizes the entire landscape of AI analytics, data analytics in the AI era. So that's why I skip quite a bit on modern AI, because generative AI, language models, all those, it does not affect you much, as in it's not part of the analytics. Because if you go further down, right, is still those things: generate songs, generate image, and then it goes back to the 3 A's. It goes back to agents, automations, right? Okay, the other 2 A's. So okay, to make it looks nicer, it should be something like this. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. That pretty much encapsulate the landscape and also the things that I would like to cover this morning. Let's go back to the key topics here, right? We still want to do how to ace data analytics in the AI era. So you have 4 aces. Everybody, every company, everybody. Now you have 4 aces in your hand, and you already have it. It's not like on the way, coming soon and whatnot. AI models, ChatGPT, Gemini, you can use them for free. If you want something even cheaper, you have more control, you can go to olama.com, download the models, and then install on your local machine, right? olama.com. And then agents. So I've just shown you Google Colab. It comes with coding agents, data science agents that help you to build data science projects straight away just by using 1 or 2 lines of prompts. And then automation, you use platform like NNN, Zapier, what else? Maker.com, help you to construct the workflow as long as you have a set of process. Where you have set a boring task, delegate it to AI, and it will fix that for you. And last but not least is the main topics of today: analytics. So how do you really do analytics in the AI era and use AI to help you? So before you jump into analytics, you have to understand, you must know how to do BI, because you need to have the business knowledge, you need to have the domain knowledge, you need to have the know-how. And then it starts from this framework called the OSEMN framework. It's actually an acronym of 5 characters: obtain data, cleaning data, explore data, build models, and interpret the results. Okay, and all these comes from the business questions. Okay, so business question is your main foundation here. Yeah, it's your main foundation. Okay. Business questions. If you don't have a solid business question, I suggest you do not start any analytics, because it will lead to nowhere. Yeah, if you don't have a good business question, do not do any analytics, because you won't go anywhere. Even yes, have my colleague contacted you? Yeah, I saw your email, right? I saw your ticket. Just send me a WhatsApp, even if you have any problems with the conference registration. Is data analytics still relevant when users could upload their CSV to LLM and LLM will generate the analytics report? Yes. So that, because even took the data science certification before, so this question is really relevant. See, most of the heavy lifting, right, the coding things, the Python script writing work is already covered by AI, no problem. And the interpretation from LLM is also pretty good and pretty on point, I would say, right? I'm not going to deny that. We are the one that design and build those things. But what differentiates a human and a LLM report is the warmth that we put in and your understanding of the things behind outside the OSEMN framework is a business question. For example, you want to present a project. The other day, we presented a case to Petronas. Normal consultants, normal executives will just sit down and listen, but you don't understand the problem behind. Okay, you need to understand their policies. You need to understand the sensitivity of an oil and gas industry. I avoid using the word politics, even though a lot of analysts, a lot of consultants like to do that. There is no politics there for no reason. Politics exists because some of the data needs to be protected, some of the benefits of the organization needs to be looked after, some of the processes need to be streamlined and optimized, and some of the things are hard to change, not just because a consultant presented or proposed a case, then it can be executed straight away. So politics itself is just a catchphrase that irresponsible people, or they don't understand the context, they just say, it's very hard now because of all the politics. But the reality is not. If you sit down with the actual stakeholders, actual people who are doing the work, then you know that that is something that AI, LLMs will never be able to explain to you. Okay, that's number one. Number two, 80-20 rules. 20% of the job now is done by us, which is the thing that I have mentioned to you, right? We still need to go there and see the clients, really speak to them, understand from their feedback. We gather the insights, gather the info, and we do the interpretation. So able to come up with the report is just one part of it. 80% of the job of analytics jobs, I strongly encourage you guys to delegate it, outsource it to AI. Leave the 20% most important job for us to do. That will make your company, that will make your business, that will make you as an individual totally different from other people's out there. Okay, because if you are just somebody who knows how to prompt ChatGPT and get the results, it's not enough. But I have to say, from an analytics point of view, just from understanding the data, like what I have shown you earlier, right? Yes, AI has done a damn good job. Yeah, not just pretty good job, it's a very good job compared to human. You see, within 10 minutes, I can get all the inside analytics done. Yeah, with explanations, with all this text writing some more. Yeah, I'm happy. Yeah, it's a huge leap. It's a good process. Okay, so anyway, and if you're looking to switch job, right? Remember I was saying in Lead the Future Summit, we have data engineers, we have data scientists, we have data analysts, and we have vibe coding people teach you how to build products also. So if you want to turn your analytics results into a proper product, and vibe coding is something that you should learn. And if you're looking to switch to a job, if you're an engineer, okay, network engineer, software engineer, mechanical engineer, who likes to stay more on the back end, data engineer is the job that suits you, because there are a lot of fun things that you can do while gathering data and cleaning data, and you always have the first-hand information compared to other people. And don't worry, you don't have to write too many scripts nowadays. SQL script, AI, API, MCPs, all these are handled by the LLMs already. Okay, now if you want to become an analyst, you don't want anything that's too hardcore, you are still a business guy in heart, data analyst is the one that suits you. You do this three things. So a bit of exploring data, a bit of modeling data as well. So if I want to follow this mechanism, right, if I want to follow this method on how I draw, okay, yeah, it should be here. It should be here. Yeah, data analyst is this too. Okay, data analyst. Sorry. It should be here. E and M. Yeah, more on exploring data and more on building models. Yeah. Okay, and then last but not least, so this is OSEMN framework. And also, if you want to go back to the analytics landscape, just focus on this part. Okay, just focus on this part. Classic AI, machine learning. Understand it, because when you go to modern AI, even under the discriminative AI umbrella, you are still mainly doing supervised learning. Okay, understand what you want, classify it into different categories, and getting the forecasted values that you want and so on. Okay, business is business. Yeah, that's what I always believe lah. Okay, technical, all these are just the tools. I think I've covered all the things that I wanted to cover this morning. All right, thank you very much for spending such a beautiful Sunday morning with me. I'm very glad, I'm blessed, and very happy with the questions that you guys asked. Thanks for the interactions, and also, yeah, last call. Grab a ticket at leadthefuture.io. You get to see all the different industry experts. Okay, leadthefuture.io. Yeah, 25th September. I think we're counting down already. All of us are very excited. 4 days. Okay, 9 to 5, Sheraton Puchong. 4 points by Sheraton Puchong. Buy the ticket. Don't forget to use special 200 discount code. Okay, special 200. Must always remember to write this. Okay. All right. Thank you very much, and then see you on the 25th. Ciao.